Welcome back to In Focus. On the day President-elect Barack Obama made history, spontaneous celebrations broke out in a Washington, D.C. neighborhood that had once been torn apart by racial tensions and rioting. Riots exploded onto U Street 40 years ago when Martin Luther King was assassinated. But VOA went back to U Street and found a neighborhood that has emerged from its troubled past.
Thousands jammed Washington, D.C.'s U Street corridor to celebrate Barack Obama's election night victory. People of all races shared in the historic moment as the Illinois senator became the first African American to win the presidency. It was an especially poignant time in history for this once segregated black neighborhood.
This is a solid example of the evolution of race relations.
Civil rights activist and former city leader Sterling Tucker sees U Street as a real-life example of the progress Barack Obama's election symbolizes. He says he's amazed at how far U Street has come. Tucker was here in April of 1968 during 4 days of race riots sparked by the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. 12 people were killed citywide. Nearly every business on U Street was looted and set on fire.
All up and down this area and all the streets around, they were kind of inflamed. The street died and not much was here. Many businesses tried to remain, struggled.
U Street was in ruin. Many who lived here and owned businesses moved away to peaceful, crime-free neighborhoods. An exodus that left behind decades of decay.
This was a neighborhood that people were trying to get out of, rapidly trying to get out of, But there were people who saw a future here.
More than 40 years after race riots devastated this neighborhood, U Street has evolved into a thriving residential, social, and cultural center in D.C. Some in this community say it's also a shining example of how America has evolved racially since the 1960s.
Today, U Street is a racially mixed neighborhood. The changes have been driven by steady economic development since the subway came here 17 years ago. There are new upscale condos and apartments next to trendy boutiques and restaurants.
847. Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Nizam bin Ali's parents opened Ben's Chili Bowl 50 years ago. The popular restaurant was one of only a few businesses that remained open after the riots. Nizam says they never gave up on the neighborhood, believing development along U Street would bring positive changes.
And it's brought this wonderful mix of people, this racially diverse mix of people of different socioeconomic statuses to U Street, to like a rebirth, if you will.
I like those brown shoes. How much are those?
U Street's transformation has been a blessing for 74-year-old Donald Betts. Ponytail, as he's known by his customers, has struggled to keep his shoe repair shop open during some of the darkest days in this area. Now, he says, business is good.
My clientele used to be all black, but now I got, a lot of whites coming in, customers, and it's...
Well, nice piece to end on, and that's our show today.
Thanks a lot. Join us tomorrow again for another show. And